Hey, what's up guys, it's DarkArmedDuelist, and today we're going to be doing a 6 Samurai FTK test stand video. So I'm really excited to do this for you guys because this was actually suggested to me by one of my patrons, Izzy. And this deck is a absolutely crazy deck that uses the consistency of your 6 Samurai monsters to FTK your opponent, which is an absolutely insane thing for this deck to do. So without further ado guys, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell there so you can become part of the notification squad, and definitely check out the Patreon down in the description below for all those awesome rewards like your name, description, every single video, getting a signed card nail, and even getting to request a deck profile every single month you're a patron along with test hands. So without further ado, let's get straight on into this guys. But definitely give Izzy some love down in the comments down below for suggesting such a crazy awesome deck. So I'm going to show you guys the quick combo of how you actually pull this off. So what you're basically going to need is a card that can hold Bushido counters. If you have multiples, it makes it a lot easier, but if you just have one, then you can actually pull it off, plus any 2 6 Samurai monsters that you can summon to your side of the field instantly. It doesn't matter what else you have in your hand. It can be 2 of any random card that you have in your hand to actually pull this off. But for this particular play, we're just going to add a copy of Mizuho and a legendary 6 Samurai Shinai for our opening hand. These 2 monsters can be a copy of Kizan and a copy of Grandmaster. This could be a Kageki and a Mizuho. It could be any of those monsters that you have, but the copies of the Shinai and the Mizuho are the easiest way to show you guys. So what we're going to do is immediately activate our copy of Shien's Dojo. So Shien's Dojo is going to help us out because it collects our Bushido counters every single time we summon a monster with no limit. So what we're going to do is just normal summon out a copy of one of our cards to our side of the field that's a 6 Samurai, and this will get a counter on it. We can then special summon out our copy of our Mizuho onto our side of the field because we control Shinai, which will actually make this go to 2 counters. Then we can link these 2 away on our side of the field to actually summon out a copy of Awalt to our side of the field, which is going to be one of the few cards that we're actually going to summon that's not a copy of a 6 Samurai monster. So at this point, we're actually going to special summon out to our side of the field a copy of Kizaru, but you also get to add a monster from your deck to your hand, which usually I add Kageki from my deck to my hand because I'm not going to be using Kageki. I'll just discard him later for different plays. Then we can use the copy of the Awalt to special summon out a copy of Kizaru, which will make this go up by another token or another counter, but we're going to have to send 4 equip spells to the graveyard, which is a Cursed Bamboo Sword. You have to send Cursed Bamboo Sword. That is very important to be able to do to send that particular card. Now these are the ones I usually send to the graveyard depending on my opening hand, depends on what you're going to send, but basically what you're going to try and use is your copy of Divine Sword Phoenix Blade, Moon Mirror Shield, Cursed Bamboo Sword, and a DDR. Now the cool thing is when you send the Cursed Bamboo Sword to the graveyard, you can actually add your Broken Bamboo Sword from your deck to your hand, which helps out a lot for later on when you use Yugioh. So we're going to go ahead and send these to the graveyard and summon out the copy of Kizaru. Now once we summon out the Kizaru, this will actually go to 4 counters on it, and this card has a really good effect to be able to search any 6 Samurai that we want from our deck to our hand that is not the same attribute as a card we currently control. So I'm actually going to add a copy of Shinai from my deck to my hand just to give me an additional monster in the hand. It doesn't super matter which one you grab, it just helps to grab a copy of a monster that's not the same attribute that's light or earth from your deck. So at this point, we're then going to link these 2 monsters away to summon out our copy of Battle Shogun. We'll actually bump this card up to 4 counters. Now at this point, you have some really good plays that you can go in for, and you can actually use the effect of your copy of your Battle Shogun to be able to discard a card from your hand, which I'm actually going to discard my copy of Kageki to be able to add from your deck to your hand Gateway of the 6, which is one of the most broken cards in the entire game of Yu-Gi-Oh! Still to this day, which was actually on the top of the deck. So we're going to add that from deck to hand, and it's going to basically be able to remove Bushido counters from anywhere on the field to be able to add 6 Samurai monsters from our deck to our hand, or be able to basically just get them back from the graveyard. So at this point, what we're going to do is we're going to remove these 4 counters off the copy of our Gateway, and we're going to be able to add from our deck to our hand a copy of our Kizan. So when we get Kizan from our deck to our hand, which actually I'm just going to put all 3 of them on top of the deck because I'm going to be looping through them, you're then going to add a Kizan from deck to hand and special summon it out to your side of the field. Now make sure you special summon it to the zone that your Battle Shogun points to, or he won't get counters. So we're going to be able to just add a counter to our copy of Battle Shogun, then we're going to add a counter to our copy of our Dojo, and then we're going to add 2 counters to our Gateway because for some reason Gateway gets 2 instead of 1. So after we do this, we're then going to use it again and take all all the counters off again, which I'm just going to set them right here because I'm going to immediately put them back on, draw out our copy of our next Keyzon, special summon it over here, and then put the counters right back on. Now at this point, you can overlay both of these monsters on your side of the field to summon out your copy of your Shadow of the Six Samurai Shi-In. Now since this monster is a Six Samurai monster, you're going to go to 4, you're going to go to 2, and you're going to go to 2 again. We're then going to remove the 4 off your copies of your 2 other cards that you have on your side of the field to then bring out your final copy of Keyzon. Now, when you bring out your next copy of Keyzon, you're then going to be able to put counters back on your monsters to be able to then get additional plays to be able to go in for later. Now, the really cool thing about this is you can actually use the effect of your Keyzon or your Shadow of the Six Samurai Shi-In to be able to then be able to detach both these materials, and then it targets a Six Samurai on the field and it becomes 2,000 on the field. So we're going to target this monster on the field. It doesn't really matter. You're just basically trying to get the materials off of it to be able to get that effect. So once we do that, you're then going to remove 4 counters off your copy of Gateway, and Gateway is then going to be able to give you a monster back from the graveyard. So we're going to get a copy of Keyzon back from the graveyard. We're then going to special summon it right here and put 2, and then put back our tokens back on this card. Now, once we put those back on this particular card, we now have 7 counters on the field, which is really good because we're going to get more later on. So at this point, I'm going to remove 4 off my copy of Gateway, putting it down to 2. And once we put it down to 2, we're then going to get back our final copy of Keyzon, special summoning it back to the field, and then we're going to get 4 back on this one, going back to 6, or going back to 4 on this one, and going back to 3 on this one. There's a lot of counting in this. So we're then going to overlay all 3 copies of our Keyzon on right here, and we're going to actually summon a copy of the Prime Meth Mech right here. Now, once we summon the Prime Math Mech right here, we're going to detach all 3 materials from the Prime Math Mech, and we're actually going to add from our deck to our hand a copy of Cannon Soldier. Cannon Soldier is going to be one of the most important cards that you're going to be grabbing this entire combo because you're going to be using that card to be able to FTK the opponent. So at this point, you're then going to remove the 4 counters off Gateway, or you can actually just remove the 4 and the 3 right here to be able to get back your copy of Keyzon, which then will put back 4 total tokens or counters back on the field, because this will go back to 1 right here, and this will go back to 6. You can then remove 4 counters off your copy of Gateway, putting it at 2, to be able to grab another copy of Keyzon back from the graveyard. Or you can do a really cool play where you can actually grab your copy of Grandmaster from the deck, which is going to be the main one that you're going to want to do instead of grabbing your Keyzon. We're then going to special summon in Grandmaster to our field, putting 2 more here and putting 4 more here. And then we're not going to put any here because we're not summoning the zones it points to. So at this point, you can actually link summon all of these away to be able to summon out a copy of Yugioh. So your Yugioh is going to be very important to summon to your side of the field because you're going to be able to then loop your plays with the copy of the Yugioh and the Cannon Soldier. So at this point, you're going to draw 1, 2, 3, 4 off the top of the deck. It doesn't matter what these are. It doesn't matter at all, but it does help to grab the Monster Reborn because it's going to give you additional counters on your side of the field, which is going to give you 3. So we're going to put these back on the bottom of the deck. It doesn't matter because we're not going to use that card. We're actually going to use the copy of Yugioh to special summon our Cannon Soldier all the way on the other end of the field. Regardless of which end of the field you're summoning on, summon it on the other end. So now that we've done that, we're then going to use the copy of the Gateway to then remove 4 counters to be able to special summon this back to our side of the field. This is going to go to 2. This is going to go to 3 counters, and this is going to go back to 2 counters back on it. Now, at this point, you can tribute both of these monsters on your side of the field, and once you tribute both of these monsters on your side of the field, you're then going to inflict 1,000 points of damage to your opponent. We're going to use this for our counter for 1,000 every time we tribute for the effect. We're then going to go back and summon another copy of Keyzon by removing 2 and 2, which is going to immediately put 2 back, and then going to put 1 back over here. And you're going to basically loop through because you're constantly getting 4 counters every time you summon. So then we're going to be able to remove 4 counters from right here. It doesn't super matter where you remove them from, but basically you're going to want to keep them off of your copy of your Battle Shogun because your Battle Shogun is just going to keep looping through anyways. Like, it doesn't matter where you remove them from. So you're going to summon this one back to your side of the field. This is going to go to 2. Again, this is going to go to 4, and this is going to go to 1. And then you're going to tribute both of these monsters again to be able to go for another 2,000 or another 1,000. We're then going to go again and we're going to summon both of these to our side of the field again by removing 4 here. And then this will give us 2 again on our side of the field. This will go to 2 right here, and this will go to 3 right here, and then you're going to remove the 4 right here off of your copy of your 2 cards, and then special summon out another copy of Kizan, and then you're going to put a counter here. This is going to get a counter over here, and this is going to get 2 right here. Tribute these again, and then you're climbing all over again, which is going to put us back at 3K that we've done now. And then we're going to remove 4 from this, put it here. This is going to get another one. This is going to get another one here, and this is going to go to 4. Remove this, put this back on the field, your copy of Kizan, and then you loop again. You're then going to tribute, or you're going to special summon this to your side of the field. Make sure that you're giving yourselves the counters, because if you're not, then you're going to lose because you're not going to have the counters. You can then summon these both to your side of the field, tribute both of them all over again, and we're going to go to 4,000 life points at this point. You can then do it again and be able to special summon it back to your side of the field by removing these here off of these, special summon this, put a counter, and then put 2 counters and put 4 counters. And then I like to remove it where it says 4 because it basically means like you've got a, 4 right there where you can just immediately just remove them. Take off 4 right here. Special summon. This is going to go back to 1. This is going to go to 4 because Gateway gets it 4 times, or gets 2 every time. This is going to go to 2. Tribute again. We're going to go to 5,000 life points. I'm just going to use this as 4 and 5 right there. We're then going to remove again, special summon your Kizan, and you just keep looping and looping and looping over and over and over again because this is going to get 2 right here. This is going to go to 2 right here. This is going to go to 3 up here. You can then remove 2 right here. And then you're going to special summon back your Kizan over here. This is going to go to 4 right here. This is going to go to 1. This is going to go to 2. And then you're going to tribute again because then you get another 1,000 life points. Now your opponent's lost 6,000 life points off the cannon soldier. We're then going to remove again the 4 special summon to a zone it points to, put a counter here, put 2 over here, put 2 right there, remove this, special summon back to your side of the field, tribute both of these guys again off your side of the field to do an additional up to 3,000 damage. And if your opponent has 8,000 at this point, all you have to do is be able to send both of these to the graveyard, and then you do the full 4,000 on the second die, giving your opponent a total of 8,000 life points of damage that you just did. And you also would have 2 more cards in your hand, so you'd have 5 cards in your hand that you'd be able to use, and you would have the ability to have the copy of Shien's Dojo that if you get down to a weird position in the hand, you can actually get it up to 4 or 5 and be able to summon out your copy of your Shinai by sending this to the graveyard if you get another copy of like a Dojo off the draw. So that's for basically the basic combo of the way that it works. It does depend on what you draw. As long as you basically draw any 2 6 samurai monsters that can special summon themselves to your side of the field, like a copy of Shinai and Mizuho, you can basically get the combo rolling. It doesn't super matter what you actually summon to your side of the field, as long as you have 2 monsters that can summon. You can have a combo of any of the monsters that you want. It can be a Kizan, it can be a second copy of a Mizuho and a Kizan. It could be a copy of the Kaigeki. It could be a copy of Grandmaster. It could be anything that you want to summon because these are the 6 samurais that we actually play in the deck, ironically enough. I think we only play the 6 in the whole deck. I don't think we play anything else. If you guys want to check out the deck profile, it is down in the description down below for you guys to actually see the full deck profile. Yeah, that's the only 6 samurais that we actually play in the deck, is these 6 right here. As long as you basically don't run into a double Kizan, you're totally fine, or a double Grandmaster, you're going to be totally fine because you're going to be able to just special summon 2 of them to your side of the field. And then once you special summon 2 of them to your side of the field, you're going to be able to go from there. So let's do some quick test hands where we're actually just going to look at it and see if we can pull it off in that particular test hand, just to show you guys the consistency because of how long the combo actually is. We're just going to look and see if we can actually pull it off. And I will say, you can pull it off if you don't draw a card that has the, depending on the hand, if you draw into like multiple special summons where you can get into a Soryuja, you can still pull it off. And we do play a lot of utility cards in the extra deck, so if you don't pull off the FTK, you can still kind of go in for your 6 samurai plays. win this deck, which is still pretty good. So we're going to go ahead and shuffle up the deck and see what we can draw out for some test hands just to see what we can do now that we've seen the combo. So we're going to draw into a Kaigeki, Cursed Bamboo Sword, Kizaru, a copy of Cannon Soldier, which is really good because now we don't have to draw it, and another Kaigeki. So unfortunately, we don't have the play in the hand, but you can still get some plays off in this particular setup where you actually can just normal summon the Kaigeki to your side of the field, special summon out the copy of the Kizaru, and then once we special summon out the Kizaru is going to give us a search of another copy of like a Shinai into our hand, and then once we get the Shinai into the hand, you can then link these into an Awalt and go from there into some more plays where you can special summon out like a Mizuho to your side of the field and then keep going, where you just summon these two to your side of the field, and then you can actually get some really good plays where you can try and draw out your plays. So what we're going to do with this particular hand is I'm going to show you guys really quickly what it looks like if you get an awkward hand in this particular setup. So we're going to go ahead and link these two away, summon the Awalt. Awalt's effect is going to go off, give us a search. So we're going to search a copy of like a Kaigeki because we're not going to want to summon it to our side of the field with this particular play. We're going to shuffle up the deck again, and then once we shuffle up the deck again, we're then going to use the effect of the Awalt to be able to send the 4 equip spells to the graveyard just like we did before, and we actually get a draw 2 this time because we have the copy of the Cursed Bamboo Sword. So this is kind of a little bit different from the last play because you're going to get a little bit more utility in this setup where you're going to get some more draws in the deck. So we're going to go ahead and shuffle it up and see what we can do. Basically, if you draw at this point, if you use the copy of the your Awalt to be able to get to something else, you're going to get more play. So at this point, we're then going to send these to the graveyard. We're going to summon out from the deck, we're going to summon out a copy of the Kizaru. And I don't believe the Kizaru is actually a once per turn. You get to search any attribute that you don't currently control. So we're going to use his effect to be able to search a copy of the Mizuho. So now we have a Mizuho and a Shinai in hand. And we're then going to use the effect of the golden or the Cursed Bamboo Sword that we sent to the graveyard to search a copy of the Golden Bamboo Sword, which is going to be really helpful to be able to grab that from deck to hand to be able to go in for more plays. Now, at this point, you can go ahead and link these away if you want to link these away for the copy of the Battle Shogun, because it's not going to super matter. So we're going to go ahead and link these two away and summon out the copy of the Battle Shogun. And then once you summon Battle Shogun, you can use Battle Shogun's effect to be able to discard your copy of your Cursed Bamboo Sword or your Kaigeki, it doesn't matter, whichever one, to be able to get the copy of Gateway, which Gateway is right here. Now you've got the copy of Gateway, and this is still a really good way to actually just get to Gateway if you're playing standard Six Samurais, if you're not playing the FTK version, which I will be doing probably soon a version of just standard Six Samurais. So you're actually going to be able to add off the copy of the Cursed Bamboo Sword, the regular Broken Bamboo Sword at this point, and then you can kind of start playing in to see if you can get a copy of, say, a Kizan to special summon to your side of the field, or be able to go from there because you don't currently have any counters on the field. So we're going to go ahead and equip the copy of the Broken Bamboo Sword onto him. We're going to give the deck a quick little shuffle, and once we give it a shuffle, we're going to see if we can get literally any one of the 5 other cards that can hold Bushido counters on them with this particular setup. Because if you do, or you draw into a copy of Kizan, you should be okay to be able to go into some more plays, but it's going to kind of really depend. So we're going to go ahead and cut the deck, and let's see what we can get. So we're going to use Golden Bamboo Sword. We can draw into a Golden Bamboo Sword. We can draw into like 1 of 7 cards and still be able to kind of pull it off. So we're going to draw, and we're going to draw into a Kizan and a Grandmaster. Now that's really good, because now you can special summon both these guys to your side of the field. This gets 2 counters, this gets 4 counters, and then I was going to give counters to that. And then basically at this point, you can kind of just climb from there, because you're going to be able to basically link summon into another copy of your Shogun and be able to go off with more plays, because you're basically going to dig through the deck to be able to go even further. So you can basically link these away, summon another Battle Shogun to your side of the field, or remove the 4 counters right here, which is usually what I would do. I would just remove the 4 counters, get a copy of my Kizan from deck, and then I'm going to put 2 over here, and then we're going to put a 3rd one up here, or actually he won't get one because it's not to his own he points to. We can then overlay these. Now we will get 1, and this will go to 4 because we're going to summon the Shadow again, which is going to help us out to be able to go in for more plays. You can then detach them off to be able to target a monster on your side of the field. like your copy of your Battle Shogun, because it lets you target any face-up 6 samurai monster you control with less attack than 2,000, and its original attack becomes 2,000. So we can detach, this becomes 2,000. You can then go again and be able to remove the counters off your copy of Gateway, special summon him out to your side of the field. This will get 2 more counters on it, and then we're trying to basically get to a copy of Yugioh to be able to get our Cannon Soldier out onto our side of the field. So then you can basically remove the counters off of him, and this will go down to 1, and then you'll be able to special summon out another copy of a 6 samurai Kizan. You'll overlay both of these on your side of the field. This will go back up to 3. You'll overlay both of these on your side of the field to be able to go into a copy of number 60, which you're basically just trying to get another name on your side of the field. Detach both of these, and then you can be able to revive back one to your side of the field for free. And then this will go back to 5 counters at this point. As you guys can see, it gets a little bit awkward if you don't draw into the plays, which is what I'm trying to show you guys. But at this point, you're going to link all of these away. And then once you do, you can summon out your copy of Yugioh, and then Yugioh's effect is going to activate. We're going to shuffle up the deck really quick, and once we shuffle up that deck, if we draw into anything that's an extender, we're going to be fine, and we're going to get the FTK off. So at this point, we're just going to give it a quick little shuffle and see what we can pull out. If we draw into a Kizan, if we draw into a Grandmaster, if we draw into a World Legacy Succession, if we draw into anything, it's totally fine. We're going to get the playoff. So at this point, we're going to draw 4 right here, and we're going to look. We're going to get a Shien's Dojo, Smoke Signal, and a copy of Reinforcements of the Army. The Rhoda actually saves it, and we're going to put all of these back on the bottom of the deck. So it doesn't matter what order, because we're just going to immediately search for the Rhoda and grab a copy of, do we have a Kizan left? We have 1 Kizan left, so we can actually still pull it off. So at this point, we're going to add the Kizan from deck to hand. And at this point, you can special summon out your copy of your Cannon Soldier way down here. And then you can kind of start looping a little bit where you summon this out to the field. This will go to 6. And then your copy of your copy of the Battle Shogun will go up again. If you kept the Dojo, you could keep going. If you wanted to keep it going even more and put back any of the other cards in your hand, like a copy of Kageki, if you can get another copy of a card that can hold the Bushido counters, and then you can just go in from there where you start removing them, and then you just kind of climb down from there into your plays, which is really cool. So even in the awkward hands, you're still going to have an FTK that you can pull off normally, but it's still really, really consistent in what it's trying to do. And I really am glad that Izzy suggested this one, because this one is absolutely crazy. So I think that's going to do it for this one, guys. As you guys can see, the deck is super consistent to be able to pull those particular combos off. It's really, really cool. We're going to give it one more quick shuffle, and we're just going to see if we can draw 2 6 samurai monsters really quickly that we can special summon, because if we can, then we're going to say that it is super consistent and we're going to be able to go off. Any 2 6 samurai monsters that you can summon to your side of the field, plus anything that can hold Bushido counters, get you the FTK. So let's see if we can do it really quickly. So we're going to go ahead and draw. We're going to draw into a copy of the Broken Bamboo Sword, Golden Bamboo Sword, Grandmaster, a copy of Shien's Smoke Signal, and another Cursed Bamboo Sword. So this is why you pile shuffle, I will say. We're going to use this on our side of the field. We're going to add the copy of the Mizuho, shuffle up the deck. Doesn't matter what we get, as long as we get like a copy of like a Kizan or a copy of Shinai or something like that. It doesn't matter, as long as we get something that we can summon alongside, we're going to be okay. So let's go ahead and see what we can get. Because we got the Mizuho, we're going to be able to normal summon this to our side of the field. Once we normal summon this, you're going to special summon, and then you can use the copy of the Broken Bamboo Sword or the Cursed Bamboo Sword, and then use Golden. And if we draw anything that can hold Bushido counters, we're fine. And we drew a Kizaru. We're going to use it again. We're going to draw 2 more, and we have some plays here, because we can special summon this out, and then you can kind of go into the link plays like we did before, which is really good to be able to go. And you can even get your last copy of Cursed Bamboo Sword. So that's really good. So I really think that this deck is fun. I really hope that you guys give it a try. It's a deck that you could definitely carry to locals. If you're waiting on the next round, you could kind of solitaire it if you want to, which is still pretty fun, and be able to carry it in on like YGO Pro on test hands. It's really fun to be able to do. If you're just working on how to like learn 6 Samurai, it's really fun. And if you just like FTK decks, it's really fun. So anyways, guys, this is DarkArmedDuelist. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell on there so you can become part of the notification squad, and definitely give Izzy some love down in the comments down below, and we'll see you guys in the next video. See you later, guys.